Live 5 News starts now with First Alert Traffic.
Right now, the westbound lanes of the Wando Bridge on I-526 is closed. And this is going to have a major impact on your drive to work this morning.
Yeah, transportation crews were forced to shut down those lanes yesterday for an emergency inspection. Now, those lanes lead to North Charleston and West Ashley. SCDOT says a cable about just a little bit bigger than the size of this Solo cup, about 4 inches in diameter, snapped inside of that bridge.
Now, we have team coverage all morning long to try and help you and your children get to work and school safely. We've got Alyssa Holmes and Michael Higdon. They're out live this morning as traffic starts to pick up. We also have our SkyTracker 5 drone, which will give you a bird's eye view of the bridge.
But we are going to start right now with our traffic tracker, Danielle Prinz, and she is here this morning to tell us about some alternate routes that folks can take if they have to normally travel those westbound lanes across the Wando Bridge.
So really coming from that Mount Pleasant area this morning, there's going to be bumper to bumper traffic. So make sure you give yourself some extra time. We've already been noticing some heavier traffic. Right now it looks great, but from time to time, Highway 17 South, that will back up this morning, as we do have all those trucks exiting the Long Point Road area because they can't take that westbound side of the Wando Bridge that they typically take. So we are going to see a lot of big trucks on that 17 southbound side because this is one of the only routes to get around this spot. So take Highway 17 South to the Ravenel Bridge to get onto I-26 westbound. So really do anticipate lots of traffic on that Ravenel side. The second option is to go ahead and take Highway 17 north to Highway 41. That'll get you to the Wando area. Then you can go ahead and take Clements Ferry Road onto Daniel Island. So keep in mind, lots of traffic this morning, so do give yourself some extra time. Right now, though, things are looking great. 7 minutes from Mount Pleasant to the downtown area, from downtown back to Mount Pleasant, also 7 minutes there. So westbound side of the Wando Bridge, all those lanes do remain closed. We're going to go ahead and head out to Alyssa Holmes right now in the field. Alyssa, how's traffic looking where you are right now?
Well, Danielle, I'm on Long Point Road, and since I've gotten here, I've seen a few cars start to pick up. I've even seen a few cars stop right before they get to this blocked off exit here. Maybe they weren't aware, but they did try. But there are SCDOT officials here to let them know that they cannot use the westbound lanes of 526. Now, this has been an all hands on kind of situation since yesterday. You know, the Department of Transportation clearly has been out here all night working. Now, Mount Pleasant officials have also been updating people constantly, and the Mount Pleasant Police Department has also been working and doing what they can to fix this problem. And the police department will be working to keep traffic flowing, and they will be monitoring those traffic jammed roads. Now, we saw how busy areas like here on Long Point Road got yesterday, and of course the roads where they have seen those detours will be packed as well. So traffic like that may cause accidents, and the police department will be in place to make sure everyone is getting around safely. And the Department of Transportation, they're going to be waiting until they open that bridge. So the police department will be making sure that all drivers are getting around safely. Reporting live from Mount Pleasant, Alyssa Holmes, Live 5 News.
Now, if your child attends any Charleston County schools, you will definitely want to hear this. The district says that bus schedules will run on time this morning, but you should expect delays. District officials are asking you to check your Remind app to keep track of what impact this may have on your child's school for the day. Now, the district is also asking parents and staff to leave a little bit earlier this morning so that they can allow for extra travel time. Berkeley County School District officials say their bus schedules will not be affected. The Charleston County School District also has a plan in place for high school students who are taking those advanced placement exams starting this morning. CCSD officials say they are working with the College Board to support any students who might miss a test because of traffic issues.
As Danielle Prinz mentioned, one of the detours you can use to get around this closure is to take Highway 17 across the Ravenel Bridge and then use I-26 westbound. Michael Higdon is live as people start to use this detour this morning. We know it will get slow, Michael.
Kyle, I am so happy to report that what I'm seeing this morning, at least so far, is very, very different than what we saw yesterday at rush hour in the evening. Things are flowing very smoothly. I'm right here at the intersection of Highway 17 and Houston Northcutt. I'm going to step behind the camera since I'm by myself and just show you exactly what I'm seeing. If we go around this way, we've got these folks that are coming and get this to focus up a little bit. There we go. So a lot of people on the roadways right now, but no major backups. This is Highway 17 southbound as they were to go onto the Ravenel Bridge and take a look. All lanes are clear at this point in time. As a heads up, for those of you who don't travel the Ravenel Bridge very often for your commute, that middle right lane is going to be the exit that or the lane that you're going to take to get onto I-26 westbound. Again, look at this. This is just fantastic. I was out here less than 12 hours ago for rush hour, and things were bumper to bumper in every single lane. So much better news this morning, but I'm going to be out here throughout the morning. As we know, the rush hour is going to pick up and bring you the very latest on exactly what I'm seeing. For now, reporting live in Mount Pleasant, I'm Michael Higdon, Live 5 News.
And as we continue our team coverage to help you and your family make it out the door this morning, make sure to follow our Live 5 traffic page on Twitter. We'll bring you up-to-the-minute updates on traffic affected by those Wando Bridge inspections. And as you work to get around the Wando Bridge this morning, you will want to slow down for some possible wet roads. We've got a couple of showers possible this morning. Let's head over to meteorologist Joey Sovine. That's really the last thing we need is a weather alert to deal with this morning, too.
I know, absolutely, Kyle. And good news so far is that we haven't had much rain, and where we've had rain overnight, it's been very light in nature. In fact, this is a look at the radar right now. Pretty quiet area-wide. We are watching one area, some showers offshore of lower Charleston County. As we put a tracker on this, arrival time on Seabrook Island right around 6:40 towards Wamala Island as we head towards 7 o'clock. If this shower holds together, you can see it's tracking toward the coastline. Elsewhere, mainly dry. Take the umbrellas just in case. Lots of moisture coming up out of the south, so we're going to include a slight chance of a shower this morning. A little bit better chance from lunchtime into this afternoon. Certainly won't rain all day. There'll be a little bit of sunshine mixed in. High temperatures today will be in the low 80s. Danielle?
Well, keep in mind all westbound lanes on the Wando Bridge will remain closed this morning. So the best way to go ahead and get around that spot if you're heading from the Mount Pleasant area, take Highway 17 south to the Ravenel Bridge, then get onto I-26 westbound from there. We'll be right back.
Right now, we want to give you a live look over I-526, the Wando Bridge off in the distance, and you can see zero traffic in the westbound lanes. The traffic heading from Mount Pleasant toward the Wando and then Daniel Island. This is closed now for a second day. SCDOT called for an emergency shutdown because of a snapped cable inside the bridge, and transportation officials say the closure is expected to last through tomorrow afternoon or evening, maybe even longer. Danielle Prince has been tracking all of this and trying to give you some perspective. We've got the Long Point Road exit and the Wando terminal off over here. That's usually where we see the backups. Now we don't have any traffic heading westbound on there.
Yeah, so quite a sight this morning. And think of all of those big trucks trying to leave the port. So that's really going to back up those roadways this morning. Let me walk over to the monitor here and show you some of the detours that we have for you. Give yourself extra time this morning. That is what we've been saying. So the best way to get around, maybe if you're heading from Mount Pleasant to Daniel Island, go ahead and take Highway 17 north to Highway 41 and then get on to Clements Ferry Road. Typically, Clements Ferry Road is already a busy morning commute road, so expect a major backup this morning for Clements Ferry Road. Right now, not too bad, but already noticing heading from Highway 41 to I-526, about a 15-minute commute there. Average time should only be around 12-13 minutes for that morning commute. Still lots of green here on the traffic flow map, but I do anticipate that we're going to start to see some orange and red show up over the next couple of hours or so. Best way around from Mount Pleasant to Moncks Corner, go ahead and take Highway 17 north to Highway 41 and then get on to Highway 402. And one of the biggest detours this morning, if you're trying to get from Mount Pleasant into the North Charleston areas, to take Highway 17 south to the Ravenel Bridge and then get on to I-26 westbound. So that means Highway 17 south and I-26 westbound will see a lot more traffic this morning. Here's a live look here out of the Cosgrove Avenue exit westbound. Looking great this morning. Eastbound, starting to see more cars throughout that spot. I'll have drive times for you coming up.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
I want to give you a quick update of what's going on with our weather this morning. Tracking a lot of rain down to the south, setting the stage for what will be a bit of an unsettled weather pattern over the next couple of days. Watching one area of showers right now coming on to Seabrook Island, so heads up there. Elsewhere, we're mainly dry. Could be one or two sprinkles out there, but overall the morning drive outside of those huge traffic issues if you live east of the Cooper. Overall looking okay. It is warm and muggy, low to mid 70s. We'll be around 80 at lunchtime. Now, we're giving it the yellow light for lunchtime into the evening commute because there will be some scattered showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm. So keep that in mind today. Will not rain all day long. There will be some sunshine, enough to get us up to about 83 degrees. But just take the umbrellas with you as you head out the door. Ann?
All right, right now, lane closures on the westbound side of the Wando River Bridge entering a second day now as SCDOT officials conduct emergency inspections.
Yeah, the DOT announced that westbound lanes would be closed after discovering a snapped cable inside the bridge. Now, the lanes could reopen tomorrow afternoon, but SCDOT says it could take even longer.
We are on your side with team coverage this morning. Alyssa Holmes and Michael Higdon will have a live look as people try to get around those closed westbound lanes.
We want to start with traffic tracker, though, Danielle Prenz. There are a couple of detours in place for these closures, but you're going to need to get out the door early.
Yeah, you're going to want to give yourself a lot of extra time this morning. As we saw that shot there earlier of I-526, think of all those large trucks that are trying to get away, get out of the port this morning, and they're going to take the same detour that a lot of other people are taking. So we should see a big backup on 17 southbound heading into the downtown area. Right now, noticing some slower speeds, a few more cars. That's typical as people are heading into work this morning. And as we go ahead, zoom on in here on our traffic flow map, you can see it is starting to slow down in some spots this morning right near Shelmore Boulevard. So do give yourself extra time if you're really heading out anywhere in the Mount Pleasant area this morning. One of the detours that we do have for you, the best way around is to head to North Charleston this morning, is to take Highway 17 south to the Ravenel Bridge and then hop onto I-26 westbound. Coming up, we'll have more detours for you as well as drive times.
Well, you can expect some delays on your way to work and school this morning because of the lane closures. The lanes headed to North Charleston and West Ashley on 526 have been closed since yesterday afternoon. Alyssa Holmes is on the Mount Pleasant side at Long Point Road, where some of those detours are taking place. Alyssa?
That's right. I'm starting to see a lot more cars on the road here at Long Point Road. Now, you can see that Long Point Road starting to see a little bit more volume, and this also does lead to 17. So from there, drivers can use the detours that were put in place yesterday. Now, the good news is that drivers do seem to be a lot more understanding this morning. Things are moving slowly and calmly so far. And once the roads do get backed up later in the morning, Mount Pleasant Police Department will be there monitoring the roads to make sure everything is moving along. Yesterday they said they just want to keep traffic moving as quickly as possible, and if things do get bad, the police department says that they can step in and they may even override some of those traffic lights, but that's just if things get too bad. But for now, that is not the case. It seems that people have accepted that these road closures are in place and they're just going to try to work their way around it. From Mount Pleasant, Alyssa Holmes, Live 5 News.
Well, right now, there is some help for anyone heading to downtown or Daniel Island this morning. The Daniel Island Ferry is running a commuter schedule starting in just a few minutes at 7 o'clock. That will help those drivers who have to usually take those westbound lanes of the Wando River Bridge. Now, you will need to purchase tickets both ways if you want to go a round trip ticket there. You can sign up to use the Daniel Island Ferry by heading to our website, live5news.com, and clicking on the big red box. And we are continuing to follow the breaking news as drivers are forced to detour because of those westbound lane closures across the Wando River Bridge. Right now, Michael Higdon live as drivers take Highway 17 across the Ravenel Bridge to get to I-26 westbound. Michael?
And I can say in the last several minutes, it has gotten much busier. I just checked our Live 5 app, the traffic map of this area, and we are starting to see those orange and red parts popping up right here around 17 southbound and Houston Northcote. I'm going to take a step behind the camera to show you what I'm seeing. Thankfully, we are still not seeing very many backups. This is as you are headed to the Ravenel Bridge. So we're having these stoplights that are starting to come into play at this point in time, trying to break up some of the volume. As I'm panning back this way, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm seeing over on the southbound side. So every lane is now packed with cars. Folks are getting ready to get onto the Ravenel Bridge. If you are headed this way as the detour, a heads up, those two left lanes on the Ravenel Bridge, those are going to take you onto the crosstown in downtown Charleston. That middle right lane is the one you want to be in for I-26 westbound, and then that right lane is going to take you onto Meeting Street. That's an exit only. So pack your patience. We are not seeing as much of a backup as I saw yesterday evening for rush hour, thank goodness, but we know as the morning continues on, as folks are trying to get to work and to school, this is going to be a very well-traveled area. So pack your patience, be very careful, and be aware of the cars around you because there are a lot more traveling this way than a typical morning. Reporting live in Mount Pleasant, I'm Michael Higdon, Live 5 News.